Hi everyone, let's talk about Pioneer Rails, which I've just finished a 2-player playthrough for. You can see that linked in the description if you haven't seen it yet. It should give you the best idea of how the game plays. It's on Kickstarter right now. A link to the campaign page will be in the description and in the corner of the screen for you to check out all of the final stuff. And yeah, I was paid to make the playthrough portion, and the playthrough will give you the best idea of what the game's like. This is just what I think if you are interested in that. Pioneer Rails is a fantastic flip and fill game. As you know at this point, I've played tons and tons of them. I really like the roll and write stroke flip and fill genre kind of game. You've got the initial goals giving you some direction early on and changing things up. There are 5 different ones for each category, and depending on if you're playing in the different board, there are different ones shuffled in as well. But so much else in the game is kind of pulling you in different directions, and it's very easy to kind of tie yourself in knots or spread yourself too thin. You pull initially between making a great poker hand for yourself, potentially getting tons of points, especially if you've doubled it with a saloon bonus. You can get up to 12 points each round, which can be massive, a huge chunk of your score at the end of the game if it's turned out really well. But it can just be a gamble, especially if you're going for, say, a straight every time, and if that doesn't come off in the very last round, then you're just going to end up with a pair, which isn't very many points. There is an advanced variant that you can play with where each player starts with a card in their hand which is going to be their last card of the round, so something is going to come up at the very end, so you can't just be shortchanged like that, or you can just play it where it's just the luck of the draw. You're also, if you're the active player, trying to judge, is somebody else going to get a load of points out of this? But as you've seen in the playthrough, by taking this card, does the other person not really care and is going to get to do a load based on the suit that it is? Because yeah, the number only matters for the little poker game that we are playing, aside from all of the actions and track laying. You're trying to weigh up what you're leaving for other people. That's going to be less of a factor. The more players that you're playing with. If you're playing a 80-player game, I doubt you're really fussed about what anyone else is going to end up with. But after the poker, just 3 lines coming from the station, or extending existing lines coming out from that station based on the suit of the card that you drafted. And you want to reach out to all of these things, but of course there's not going to be enough time to do it all. You are trying to work out, what is the most efficient way of getting around these hexes. Some want loads of things surrounding them. Some just, like the gold mines, they just need 1 line, and then you're kind of wasting your time going more over them. But you sometimes need to get to the next hexes that you want to. Getting to the towns is always beautiful. The powers letting you skip through the mountains or across the rivers or across just empty hexes can help you get where you're going way faster, but it's going to terminate your line, and that can be a real killer, especially towards the end of the game when you've hardly got any things left and you're nestled among all of these other things that you'd really like. But that's when branching off as one of the town bonuses can really help you out as well. Is it worth going for a saloon bonus when I don't think I'm going to get many points out of this poker hand? Is it worth going for a bank when I've got no gold banked up? Probably not, but it's one of the goals. I can still get 10 points out of it even if I'm not making much from the bank itself, and deny everybody else the 10 points. They'll only get 5 if they get the banks in a future round, if that calls come out, of course. And then I think the cattle rank, which is working in a completely different way, really adds to it as well, that you are trying to kind of segment these things so you can kind of get the cattle done while you're doing other things. Some based on their position, some are really easy and just need a line or maybe 3 to segment off. Some are part of massive areas and it's going to need some more thought to be able to do it. Can be worth tons and tons of points if you end up doing it, and I say it can be done on the way to other things as well. With the loads of different goals, plenty of different ways to go, even if it was just the same thing every time, there's loads of different avenues to go down. Then the completely different forest board, there's mini expansions where you can include the jokers, or where everyone's going to end up with special abilities as well. As you get more used to the game, can change it up in different ways and just really change the feel of the game that you're playing as well if you're going to end up with special abilities. The artwork's beautiful as well across the player sheets, the goal cards, and the deck of cards itself. I don't know if this is going to be a final thing, but my prototype at least has got a deck of cards that you could just use as a normal deck using the artwork from the Pioneer Rails deck. You only need the 10s, jack, queen, kings, aces in the normal game. But yeah, there's a whole deck that you could do other things with. The jokers can be used as part of a mini expansion. I think there's a little nod to the designs on the art of those ones as well. But yeah, from the prototype perspective anyway, absolutely love it. Definitely be among my roll and write collection, which has kind of expanded and mutated to the point where it's separate from the board game collection. But the playthrough is there for you to see it in action and see if it will be a game for you. If you haven't seen it yet, it is linked in the description. If you'd like to see more playthroughs, there are hundreds on this channel. But thank you for watching this one though, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye everyone.